promised I wanted to put together something for you to show you what a presentation looks like so that you can go away and practice how you're going to present your narrative analysis. Everyone is expected to do it. You will be filmed by somebody on your table and you'll present to the rest of your group. I'm looking forward to seeing which books you choose to read and which books you choose to analyse. The reason that we're doing this is it's to consolidate our learning across this term because we have looked at all of these parts this term and your job is to remind yourself on the parts of a narrative and then being able to understand the different parts of a narrative will mean that your writing actually has all of these elements in. You won't forget to put in a main character. You won't forget to put in some reaction when the initiating event happens. And right at the end, you won't forget to put in a consequence as a result of all of these actions and attempts. So here is mine. Now this is the basic version. This is the standard one, and I'd like you, if you're feeling like you want to be a standard student, to use this one. But it would be even better if you wanted to use Keynote and took all of these icons and created a slide for each for your presentation, or on Book Creator, for example. You could even do a bit of a storyline and a handout for each of these parts. There are definitely lots of options, and I'll place them on the website if you want to push yourself and push harder to create a presentation that looks really great for your table, and for me, shows me that you've pushed yourself to create a presentation that's both engaging, but also a little bit out of the box thinking. So this is mine, and once again, this is the sort of standard that I will set, but I'd love you to expand on that standard. So in the book The Hunger Games, the main characters, pause before I start, this is what I'd expect from you as a presentation. I'm pretending I'm talking to my table group right now. Hello table group. I read the Hunger Games book, and the main characters of that Hunger Games book are Katniss Everdeen, who has a mum and a sister in the book. She's from District 12, and she, in my opinion, is brave. She's quite considerate. And she's quite fierce as well, quite angry and aggressive sometimes. The other main character is Peter Malark. He's the son of a baker, and as a result, he's quite strong, but he's also quite shy and timid at times. But across the book, you actually see that he becomes quite cunning and quite confident. Before I get on the main setting, I'll give you the synopsis of the book. Katniss, the main character, volunteers for her sister to play in this thing called a Hunger Games, where it's a little bit of a fight to the death, a bit of a graphic text. She is taken away to compete in these games, held by the city called the Capitol, the people that oversee the rule of the land. She shoots really well with a bow and arrow because she's been hunting, and she actually creates some friendships, some allies, because she's very good at hunting and shooting. And then when she goes into the games, those allies sort of help her. So Katniss and Peter, two characters, compete in the games. Katniss works hard to stay alive. Obviously, the games is all about fighting to the death, so it means that she is trying to survive and not be killed. She also tries not to kill anybody else because she wants a clear conscience. She doesn't want to feel like she's killed anybody after she leaves the games. She actually befriends a girl from District 11, and they become a team together for a bit of a time. Unfortunately, that girl then passes away. She is killed. Katniss then finds Peter, the other main character. They actually work together to win the game, and in the end, they both win together, which is a controversial end for the Capitol because they only want one winner, but as a result of Katniss and Peter working together, it means that they both win. The main setting, as you've heard, is this games arena where they're competing, and the setting specifically is the games arena. And from there, we also have a look at the Capitol, which is like a minor setting, and we also look at District 12, which is a minor setting. So we have a little bit of description there as we go. The initiating event is the Hunger Games happening, and it means that one winner to survive. That's sort of the initiating event of the whole thing. So the idea is that sort of kicks off the storyline. We know that people are going to be chosen and that people are going to compete in these games. But the big initiating event right at the start is where Katniss and her sister are at this thing called a reaping, so the picking. So the idea is that her sister unfortunately gets picked, and then Katniss volunteers. That's like a big kickoff. So that's where it all kicks off. That's where the story becomes a little bit crazy, and that's where it all becomes disarray. And that's kind of what an initiating event is all about. It's when the storyline becomes changed because something occurs. It could be negative, it could be positive. Look, the internal response of Katniss, she's dumbfounded that Prue, her sister, is chosen, and she's really devastated. Of course, she doesn't want her younger sister. It's a younger sister. I might put that in as well as we go. Primrose, yep, the sister of Katniss, the younger sister of Katniss. Good bit of intro. So she's very sad that she is picked, and she worries that Prim's not going to be very capable of surviving in the games. So she volunteers. That's her plan. She volunteers and she wants to compete in the games, and hopefully she's going to stay alive. That's her plan. As the story progresses, one attempt, and there's going to be lots of attempts in your story, you guys, so you can find lots of different attempts of your main character trying to enact the plan. So one attempt of her trying to stay alive in the games is to make herself more likable. So she becomes a bit friendlier, a bit kinder, because she's quite aggressive and a little bit angrier. So she needs to make friends and make allies. So she tries to do that. She also attempts to team up with Peeta during the games, and that's another way to win the games. Obviously, your plan and your attempts need to relate together. How does your main character attempt to complete their plan? Katniss's plan was to win the games. She attempts it by making friends. She attempts it by teaming up with Peeta. As a result, the direct consequence of all of those attempts is that she actually gets sponsors because she's kinder. She befriends another girl because she makes some allies in the games, and they help each other out. And she teams up with Peeta, and they work together to survive, and that's the direct consequence of those two attempts. The resolution is that she wins the games alongside Peeta. So at the end of the games, she wins alongside Peeta. Now, that's a simplistic view of the story. It is quite intricate and a really great book if you don't mind a little bit of violence in there. And apologies to parents if your child shouldn't be reading the violent stories. Fantastic language and some great sort of analogy of how the world looks in politics at the moment. But that's the book that I read, and that's how I would like you to present to your table group. Now, obviously, that is a good setup. You can create a keynote or a video, even if you'd like to create a video, or even some drawings to kind of replicate this setup and actually present in a different way. I will put the rubric up for presentations for our homework as well, so you can have a look at that as well, and you can kind of see what I'm assessing you on when I'm looking at these presentations, and I look forward to seeing what you can do, Room 17. Thank you for watching this video, and apologies on the pauses here and there. I had a teacher come in during one of the explanations, but hopefully it makes sense. And I look forward to any questions. If you need to ask me anything, I will certainly answer any questions. So make sure that Mum or Dad emails me, and I can flick those through. Thanks, you guys, and have a lovely holiday. Happy Easter.